News on CM Punk's All Elite Wrestling schedule after his return to AEW was officially announced last night on Dynamite with the premiere episode of AEW Collision. Plenty of Collision details and CM Punk details as well that we've got to get into. An update on the pay-per-view buys for Double or Nothing 2023. The bonus roster has been announced with the Elite edition of Fight Forever officially being announced as well. And Layla Hirsch reportedly is close to an in-ring return. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. Let's start off talking about CM Punk. We know more about his schedule with AEW now that he is set to return with the premiere episode of AEW Collision from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Another new date and location has been announced for the schedule of AEW's new Collision brand ahead of the debut show. AEW Collision will officially be launched on June 17 when the debut episode will air from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Following the announcement of the new brand, Tony Khan revealed the locations for several upcoming Collision tapings on the May 17 edition of AEW Dynamite. An update has now emerged on this touring schedule, with AEW set to visit the Greensboro Coliseum in North Carolina on August 12, revealing that tickets will go on sale next Friday. Greensboro Coliseum Complex shared the following on Twitter, quote, "We're excited to announce that AEW Collision, the highly anticipated new show from All Elite Wrestling, will be kicking down the doors of Greensboro Coliseum on Saturday, August 12. Tickets go on sale next Friday, June 9 at 10 a.m. More information to come. Hashtag AEW Collision." Now, the lineup of announced Collision shows is as follows. Of course, Saturday, June 17, the premiere episode at the United Center in Chicago, followed by Saturday, June 24 at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Thursday, June 29, the first Ontario Center in Hamilton. Saturday, July 8 at the Brant Center in Regina, Saskatchewan. Saturday, July 15 at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's where the finals of the Owen Hart Foundation men's and women's tournaments will be taking place. And Saturday, July 22nd at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey as well. This new announced date of Saturday, August 12 at the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. It has now been announced, as I mentioned, that CM Punk will make his AEW return at AEW Collision's debut show at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Now, as far as more reaction to Punk's return announcement, CM Punk's AEW return is now officially confirmed for the debut episode of AEW Collision, the promotion's new weekly Saturday show later on this month at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. AEW CEO Tony Khan made the announcement on AEW Dynamite last night. Punk's close friend Dax Harwood took to social media to comment on the news. He wrote, "June 17, 2023, Chicago, LFG, as in let's effing go." Punk's return to AEW on June 17 for the first time since the All Out pay-per-view last September. The Chicago-born wrestler became a two-time AEW World Champion that night after defeating Jon Moxley in the main event. However, during the post-show media scrum, Punk ranted about his former friend Colt Cabana, Hangman Adam Page, and AEW EVPs Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. His comments allegedly led to a skirmish in the locker room with the Elite. Punk was stripped of the AEW World Championship and disappeared from television after All Out, with reports suggesting he had suffered a triceps injury during his championship encounter with Jon Moxley. Harwood, who revealed Punk FaceTimed him in the immediate aftermath of the reported all-out locker room fracas, has vocally been in Punk's corner since last September's alleged incident. The current AEW World Tag Team Champion had to deny his friendship with the 44-year-old, led him and FTR to partner Cash Wheeler being buried on AEW programming earlier this year. Harwood recently said he saw a path for Punk to return, which would allow him to come back and finish his story on his terms, which looks like indeed that's what's going to happen. Now, in addition to Punk being featured on the program, we know other stars are also going to be featured on the show, one being Andrade El Idolo, and El Idolo has teased his AEW return following the announcement that CM Punk will be on the Collision debut episode. As I mentioned on last night's May 31st edition of Dynamite, Tony Khan revealed that CM Punk will be making his AEW comeback on June 17 when the promotion holds its first episode of Collision from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Following his announcement, Andrade took to Twitter to indicate that he has something in common with a returning AEW star. Sharing AEW's post about CM Punk being at the Collision debut, Andrade writes, quote, "I have something similar with this guy, hashtag AEW Collision." Andrade El Idolo hasn't wrestled since the Casino ladder match at the All Out 2022 pay-per-view, and has been recovering from a torn pectoral muscle injury since then. CM Punk's most recent bout, as mentioned, took place at the very same show when he defeated Jon Moxley to become a two-time AEW World Champion. Now, what's quite interesting when it comes to AEW Collision is lots of people are having their say on it. We've spoken about Eric Bischoff's takes on AEW, which most of the time are pretty negative. But interestingly, one person that would have experience of TNT and TBS and a second show on a Warner Media Discovery network is former WCW head booker Kevin Nash, and he has suggested that TNT and TBS haven't learnt their lesson when it comes to WCW Monday Nitro and the addition of WCW Thunder. Quote, I guess TBS and TNT didn't learn their lesson with Thunder, former WCW champion Kevin Nash said on the latest Click This. Nash and co-host Sean Oliver were discussing the upcoming edition of AEW Collision to the weekly wrestling landscape, and Nash bemoaned the choice of Saturday night for a television program. Quote, feels like a concussion to the point where my head hurts so bad I don't want to effing watch television, Nash said of the increasingly packed wrestling schedule. Having been involved both in-ring and creatively with WCW, Nash worries that AEW is making the same errors that WCW made when it comes to overscheduling. WCW Thunder was the second major television program for WCW when it debuted in 1998 and ended up inspiring WWE to launch their own secondary show, SmackDown. Quote, I thought the biggest mistake we made was when we went to 3 hours on Nitro, Nash explained. Then, from there, we added effing Thunder. While the upcoming AEW Collision show could mean a brand split as a way to focus on less seen wrestlers on the AEW roster, Nash says that ultimately the show will need some brand talent, especially on Saturday nights. Quote, you had to have somebody at the quarter hours that was going to draw and do a number, Nash explained. As I mentioned, AEW Collision is set to premiere on June 17 in Chicago, Illinois. To Nash's point, on Wednesday's AEW Dynamite, Tony Khan announced that the debut episode will feature former AEW World Champion CM Punk returning to the company after many months and a world of controversy. So what are your thoughts on Kevin Nash's comments? Is he right? Is this a mistake by AEW? Is this a case of overexposure, or can it work out now that CM Punk's back? What are your thoughts on what Nash said and AEW Collision right now that we know that indeed CM Punk is indeed returning? And let's talk about Double or Nothing. Of course, that was last weekend, and an update has emerged on pay-per-view numbers for the May 28 Double or Nothing show compared to previous AEW pay-per-views. Last weekend's show was a significant one with several title changes and numerous twists throughout the evening. Per Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, TV and pay-per-view figures for Double or Nothing 2023 were slightly down from March's Revolution event. However, more people went to see the May show in theaters. Comparing Double or Nothing 2023 with Revolution 2023 and Double or Nothing 2022, Meltzer said, quote, the show did pretty decent. The theater business was up significantly from Revolution. Streaming numbers looked about the same. Television pay-per-view numbers were down 0.5% based on Wednesday morning numbers compared to Wednesday morning numbers from Revolution. So it would sound like very similar numbers, and of course Revolution was a big success. However, Revolution did incredible numbers, like the biggest numbers I've ever seen for late buys as far as percentage-wise goes, I guess because of the 3 big matches. But this show had 2 fantastic matches too. But I don't know that the word of mouth on this show was as strong as the last show, because people were talking about the last show as an all-timer, and I didn't really hear too many people saying that about this show. We'll see about the late buys over the next 2 weeks. The one thing that they are pretty consistent. I'm going to guess that the number will not end up being as big for the reasons I said, but it still will be relatively in the range of every show since June last year, in that same range. At the end of the day, they did as well as far as business went across the board. It was down from last year's Double or Nothing, but that was Adam Page and Punk and MJF versus Wardlow, and they were stronger marquee matches than they had this year, but still it ended up doing all right. Not too bad. So according to Meltzer, not too bad. A bit of an update on AEW Fight Forever, because of course that's coming out at the end of this month. Bonus content for those who purchased the Elite Edition of AEW Fight Forever's video game have now been officially revealed. AEW Games on social media announced that Matt Hardy will be a pre-order bonus for the base game, but the Elite Edition comes with more additional content. Those who pre-order the Elite Edition will receive early access on June 28 instead of June 29. The Matt Hardy Pack, which is Broken and Hardy Boys versions of Matt Hardy. FTR Revival Pack, Dax Howard and Cash Wheeler plus minigames Join Us and Death Race X, Limitless Bunny Bundle, the Bunny and Keith Lee plus minigames MJF Carthrash and Sloth Sting, Hookhausen, Very Handsome, Very Evil pack, which is Hook and Danhausen. So that's some updates you'll get with the AEW Fight Forever Elite Edition. Now, ahead of its long-awaited release on June 29, the full roster for AEW's debut video game Fight Forever may be close to being revealed. In a brand new video released by AEW Games, new gameplay was shown off to the public, but that wasn't all, as AEW star Evil Uno revealed that the full roster for the game would be announced very soon. Despite the complete list of names included yet to be announced, a large number of the playable characters and wrestlers have been confirmed by both official and leaked gameplay. While the full roster is not out just yet, over 30 names have been confirmed for the game thus far, either from the developers themselves or via leaked gameplay footage. As well as these names, the game is also set to include additional DLC characters, with names such as FTR and The Acclaimed expected to be part of the post-launch lineup. Despite some fan concerns regarding the inclusion of blood in the game, this was later clarified by the AEW Games Twitter account, which we spoke about previously. So certainly some positive news when it comes to AEW Fight Forever. Finally, Layla Hirsch could be set for an in-ring return very soon. An AEW name is heading back to the roster very soon, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. 26-year-old Layla Hirsch is nearing a return to the ring, Fightful Select has confirmed and learned. Hirsch has been sidelined for well over a year since she tore her ACL during a match with Christina Marie on AEW Dark Elevation. Fightful have reported recently that they'd heard that Hirsch was in the ring preparing for an in-ring return. Prior to her injury, Hirsch had been receiving a bit of a push, having competed in a world title eliminator on Dynamite, defeating Chris Statlander at AEW Revolution 2022, and going 9-2 for the year in singles competition. She had worked half a dozen matches on TV in addition to Dark and Elevation. So Layla Hirsch is on her way back. It'll be interesting to see indeed when she does make her return. But there you go, guys. It's the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash the like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.